Hi, everybody. How are you? It's only me this week. I'm going to take a second and check the audio as soon as I find it on Facebook. Why does it need me to switch?
Why does it need me to switch?
Oh, there we go. So we have good audio. Yeah, boy, you can really hear the neighbor's dog next door. All right. So that being said, let's get underway. Someone say hi. Yo, John, what's happening? Um, okay. So, I'm not quite. So this week, I'm going to just briefly go over what was in the newsletter. I mean, you can read it on your own. I would recommend you read it this week. It's got an important information in it. But this week's shout out is to anyone who is who is kind to their opponents. Be kind. You don't know. Alex is not here. She is out on a girls' trip with her friend in Watkins Glen. I did my best. You lost audio. Can anybody else hear me?
Switch. Oh, there we go. So we have good audio. Can anybody else hear me?
Yeah, you should have audio. That must be on your end, John. I just checked it. Oh yeah. So Alex is on a girls' trip. If anybody else cannot hear me, let me know. Hi, Alex. Can you hear me? How is your trip going in Watkins Glen? So I did my best to try to get on this trip, and she was like, no. She's like, I'm going by myself. So here I am doing the video this week for you. All right. So anyway, back to the newsletter. Alex says it looks like I have mirrored glasses on. Maybe they are mirrored. All right, so that was our shout out. The upcoming events this week is the World Pool Championship send off. If you are going to Vegas, please come to the championship send off, or at least send someone from your team. We have a couple tchotchkes for you, a couple gifts, and things, some do's and don'ts. If you've never been there, we're going to talk about like why you shouldn't bring a hooker back to your room. Alex says she can't hear me either.
Switch. Oh, there we go. So we have good audio. Alex says she can't hear me either.
I'm hearing it. Now that was goofy because I was listening on my phone. So please send somebody if you are on it. At least send one of your team members. So our joke of the week. How hot is it? It's so hot the chickens around here have started laying boiled eggs. I thought that was cute. Hi, Mary. So the Mid-Atlantic Challenge, we are not, we're, Alex and I are in the process. John asked what is going on with the Mid-Atlantic Challenge. Alex and I are actually debating, since we have 6 spots and there was only 7 teams signed up, we may make it a lottery. Because there's no point in running a tournament when only one team is going to get eliminated. So if we make it a lottery, we'll give people time to register, and then we will just draw the who is going out of a hat. We are 1 week from the World Pool Championships. Good luck to everyone, and don't forget to follow your friends on CompuSport. You can download CompuSport and hit the notifications, and then you should be able to see where they are in their bracket, and hopefully they will stream their match. In the past, they have not always been really good at this, so hopefully they will. Don't forget, this is the last week of summer session, so get your roster changes in so your team will be up to date. And if you make playoffs, don't forget to fill out the date preference sheet. Now, that is not out yet. I will be making that in the next day or two, and then I will be posting it. Please don't make me reach out to you when we were out at the World Championships in Las Vegas, although I know many of you will. And remember, if you have any new players, they need to go to poolplayer.com and register and sign in, and then we can put them on your team. This prevents a lot of confusion. So that is that part of the general news. Now to the fun part of to the more interesting part of the general news. After much discussion, Alex and I have decided we are going to be implementing a new requirement for bonus points. Starting this session in 8-ball, any match that ends after 12 a.m. during the week or after 10 p.m. on Sundays, each team will lose 1 bonus point. There's no reason any match should take more than 5 hours. Manage your time. Under etiquette this week, I'll go right to the etiquette because it's relevant. When it's your time to shoot, be ready. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people at Tri-Cups. It's like they'll call up Joe Bag of Donuts, and Joe will be like, oh, okay, I got to go to the bathroom. I got to put my stick together. I'm not done smoking my joint yet. Let me go get a shot. Anybody want to do a shot? Just be ready. Communicate with your players, captain. Say, hey, you're going to be up soon. Well, there's a good chance you're going to be playing next. Just get your sticks out. It's not that hard to screw them together. And then you will be ready to go. This, I'm pretty sure if captains were to talk to the other captains and they were to throw the match in advance before, if they have both players know that they were shooting before a match ends and they were ready to go to the following match, I bet you almost no one would get done after 12 o'clock. A lot of people are like, oh, well, that extra 10 seconds on those 2 timeouts is what put us past 12 o'clock. No. It's from people not being ready or people... You'll have players that shoot a ball and then they look at the table and think about it. Then they shoot a ball, then they stand there and look at the table and think about it. Then they shoot the next ball and then they stand there and look at the table and think about it. Just get up there and hit the damn ball in. If you guys play like that on a Friday night at a bar, the other people crucify you that are waiting on the chalkboard. So think of it that way. I mean, I understand we're a little bit more serious than that, but that's all things to keep in mind. It should not take like you might have 2 5s is the longest one. You might have 2 5s, they might go to the hill, there might be a bunch of defenses. That is a long match. But if you have a 3 that's taken an hour and a half for a match, you really should be talking to your 3s and saying, listen, we got to work on some techniques here so that way you can get your match done in time. And people will have a lot more fun. Well, then it doesn't matter whether teams want to shoot on the other table or not, because the rule book says 2 hours after match start time, you have to split the match if you are not in the 4th match. Well, you know that rule. I know I'm reiterating something that you know. I apologize for that. But there is a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm not going to split tables. It's like you don't have a choice. And people are getting better at that. Yeah, I'm sorry, Dennis. I know you knew that. I kind of misspoke. But yeah, that's another one. And if you make a table unavailable, that could be sportsmanship penalties. Now, a lot of times there's like a certain bar in a certain area that has 2 tables where the bar owner will not under any circumstance allow the match to be continued on a 3rd table. We know that there's nothing that can be done about that. Or if a bar has 2 tables and the bar owner strictly designates that it's for patrons, that's a case where you can't split tables. But other than that, you don't have a choice. So as a reminder of the time guidelines, and in 8-ball, a team match should take no more than 4 hours, and in 9-ball, a team match should take no more than 3.5 hours. An average shot is 20 seconds. Special shooting situation 45 seconds. Your timeouts are 1 minute. New player selection is 1 minute. and team match forfeit is 15 minutes. That does not mean when you show up at 7 o'clock, if you have two players, they can wait for their captain. When they are there, they must start whether they like it or not. And it also says exceeding time guidelines is not a foul, however, it can result in sportsmanship violations. As I said, etiquette. When it's your time to shoot, be ready. So that's the gist of the newsletter. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody have anything you want to talk about? We have a big tournament, big benefit tournament coming up this weekend. There is the tournament is pretty much full for the singles, for the doubles. Kathy Trait has one coming up. I believe it's the 6th. That is for a benefit for one of her players. That will be out in Topton. Billy's is at the Riverboat. Jessica Marsh is asking if the score sheets are updated. I don't know that. That is a question for the league office. Kathy. So the tournament is August 12th. She's working hard. She's getting stuff together. So if you're not doing any August 12th, go do that. 9-ball Wednesday still not showing. Your best bet there, Jessica, is to message the league office, which is 610-628-2814. In our office, we have designated jobs, and that is not one of mine. And I find that if I do try to intervene, I put a big monkey wrench in the system, and then I get yelled at. Bill Irish is asking, what time does Ho-Ho's open? In fact, I'm going to see if I can reply. I can't reply to Jessica's thing. Let me reply to Jessica real quick. See if I can find it. Here's the league office number. Someone say hi. Yo, John, what's happening? Okay. So say hi. Yo, John, what's happening? Text that number and then you can ask. It might be an overlook. Okay. I mean, when players call and ask us questions, that's a good thing. John, what's happening? Text that number and then you can ask. It might be an overlook. Okay. I mean, when players call and ask us questions, that's a good thing. John, what's happening? Text that number and then you can ask. It might be an overlook. Opening at 8 a.m. When players call and ask us questions, that's a good thing. John, what's happening? Text that number and then you can ask. It might be an overlook. Opening at 8 a.m. When players call and ask us questions, that's a good thing. John, what's happening? Text that number and then you can ask. It might be an overlook. Opening at 8 a.m. When players call and ask us questions, that's a good thing. John, what's happening? And then you can ask. It might be an overlook. Opening at 8 a.m. When players call and ask us questions, that's a good thing. John, what's happening? And then you can ask. It might be an overlook. Opening at 8 a.m. When players call and ask us questions, that's a good thing. John, what's happening? Would you like to follow? It might be an overlook. Opening at 8 a.m. When players call and ask us questions, that's a good thing. John, what's happening? Would you like to follow? It might be an overlook. Opening at 8 a.m. When players call and ask us questions, that's a good thing. John, what's happening? Would you like to follow? It might be an overlook. Opening at 8 a.m. When players call and ask us questions, that's a good thing. John, what's happening? Would you like to follow? It might be an overlook. Opening at 8 a.m. When players call and ask us questions, that's a good thing. John, what's happening? Would you like to follow? It might be an overlook. Opening at 8 a.m. When players call and ask us questions, that's a good thing. That should have solved that problem. Is the audio better?
That should have solved that problem. Is the audio better?
Yeah. It's first day with the new computer, I guess.
That should have solved that problem. Is the audio better?
Yeah. It's first day. Can we take a minute to discuss what can be said to a shooter when they are not at the table? You can talk to the shooter about anything when they are not at the table. There is no restriction to that. Now at Tri-Cup and regional and playoffs, we keep our players away from the team, and then you're only allowed to talk to them on timeouts or between racks. But between racks, you could during league play, you could talk about anything. Like when I shot in league, if I knew I had a shooter that was confused and I knew I didn't have a shot, I would shoot as fast as possible, so that player did not have any time to discuss anything with their opponent. That's an example where you want to shoot real quick, because the last thing I want is my opponent getting advice from their captain when they can. Now, when they're not at the table, they can talk about whatever they want. However, when their opponent's turn is over, they must go to the table and they must stop taking advice. Speaking of taking advice, I'm going to be calling a couple people because I understand that there is a bit of side coaching going on. And this is particularly over in the Lebanon area, just in case. Bill Irish, the Ho-Hos will be opening at 8 a.m., they told me. I just talked to the owner yesterday, and he said to remind everybody that it's BYO and that they have food there and they will be serving breakfast. That's a really cool pool hall. You'll like it. It's got 10 diamond tables. 2 of them are 9-footers. We will not be using them during the tournament. But you'll like it. There's plenty of parking. The tables are good. Everyone's friendly. So if you're talking about what's considered coaching when the player is at the table, I can look that up. That is a good question that I don't mind answering. Now, when opponent, like you said, when the opponent is away from, when the shooter's away from the table, they can talk about anything. Give me a second. I'm getting right to coaching. Do 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 do. Okay, coaching. Coaching is defined as giving advice to a teammate during their turn at the table. What constitutes coaching is sometimes open to interpretation. Therefore, when your opponent finishes their turn, you are advised to not continue talking to your teammates, go to the table, and begin your turn. Things that are considered coaching. Now, that's basically anything about the game. What ball to shoot, how to shoot it, how hard to shoot it, left English, right English, left-handed, right-handed, behind your back, use a bridge, anything like that. So here's examples that are considered coaching. Which ball to shoot, except the 9-ball, of course. Where to leave the cue ball, how hard or soft to hit it, whether to use English or whether to play safe or defense. Things that are not considered coaching are telling a player if they are solids or stripes, or telling a player what ball they are on in a 9-ball, telling a player to mark their pocket, giving advice or placing the cue ball before the break, because a foul cannot occur during the break, of course, reminding a player to chalk up, telling a player a foul has occurred, answering any rules questions, and so comments is good hit, nice shot, or what were you thinking? Conversations or comments with players that is conversation or comments to a player that when it's not their turn at the table. So basically anything anything involving game strategy is coaching. Anything like cheering is not. That's basically the easiest way to think of it. What am I looking at here? Hang on. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so that is that question. If you need me to talk to anybody about it, like if you're playing a team and you think that the captain is not following the coaching guidelines, let us know, and then I will call them. The same, I will be calling certain captains over in the Lebanon area very soon, reminding them to not talk to their players when they're at the table. Just saying. While your shooter is at the table in 9-ball, can you tell them you only need 2 balls, or do you need to? No, you do not need to use a timeout to tell them that. That is not coaching. That has nothing to do with telling them how to shoot the ball, which way to shoot the ball. All you're doing is letting them know that they only need 2 balls. You're simply telling them the score, which they could turn around and ask for themselves, and that would not be a timeout. Nobody has to take a timeout to know the score. What else we got? Someone give me a provocative question. If not, I'm going to leave. While your shooter is at the table. Yeah, I answered that question already. Anybody got anything else? Looking forward to Ho-Hos this weekend? We should talk about it privately. I can't type that fast. Okay. Maybe I'll call you. I got here late, but any news on the Mid-Atlantic new time and date? So we were talking about that earlier, Ron, and we may make that a lottery like we do the 81 challenge because it was not that popular. We have 6 slots and only 7 teams were signed up anyway, so we might do it like we do the 81 challenge. And Ron, in case you did not hear, any 8-ball match that starting next session that ends after 12 p.m. during the week or 10 p.m. on a Saturday, each team will lose a bonus point. Just to bring you up to speed on that. Who do I talk to about skills for ho-hos? Who do I talk to about my skill for ho-ho Saturday? I moved back to a 4. You would talk to me about that. You could call me. Does anyone in North Carolina Gun serves food tonight? I don't know that myself. Does anybody else know that? I think they do, but I can't answer that question for sure. What else we got? We finally have some commenting going on. I like it. Wow, I got a bunch of viewers today. What's happening with the Trait 8-ball division? We are not 100% sure with that yet. That's really a question that I would ask Alex. You could text her or whatever. We do. Yeah, that team, there have been teams that have requested to play in other divisions. So I can't really comment on that. I'm not really up to date on all the information on that. That Alex sets up the divisions. So if you want to know, please feel free to text her. Yeah, that's all I can tell you about that. Like, I don't follow that information. All that stuff goes to Alex. Again, too many cooks in the kitchen spoil the soup, and so they make me stay out of that. Can't we just push a division back with Fleetwood? Well, I think the problem is there's too many teams. According by APA rule, you can't have more than 16 teams in a division. I'll call you on that one, Kelsey. Let me make a note. I'll call you and tell you what I know. Who else do I need to call? I need to call Rick Mashman. Okay, anybody got anything else? Give you a couple seconds. Going once. Going twice. Mary Delon, North Carolina normally has burgers. Oh, okay. That's a replying to Mary. Kohler, did Ryan Kohler have a question? Who do I talk to about so I gotta call Kelsey, I gotta call Rick Mashman, and I gotta call Ryan Kohler. So I'm gonna be getting off the phone pretty soon. Okay. Koehler. All right, so I'm gonna go. I've been on provocative question. How many times a month do you polish your balls? I haven't polished my balls in years. Now the ones that are down at Wilmersdorf, we polish them about 3 times a year. We polish them gently and carefully. I like polishing my balls. At home, I don't polish my personal balls very often at all. Next question. How many times do you polish your balls? Let's go there. All right, that's enough of that. All right, everybody. So I'm going to go. I'll see you again next week. Next week we are traveling to Vegas on Monday. So we will probably do the meeting Tuesday if we even have one. But in the meantime, good luck to all of our teams going out there to Vegas. We will be out there to assist you in any way you need. Hit us up if you need anything. Please follow your friends. And Thank you for all your support on the benefit tournaments. Thank you for playing for us. This has just been it's a great ride and we're digging it. And that's it. I will be at the Dream Team, Bill. Yes, I will be running the Dream Team, the Dream Team tournament. So I will be there. So on that note, everyone have a great day. And again, I hope I answered some of your questions. And don't be afraid to hit us up with more questions. Take care.